What's up, y'all? On this episode of What Sibling Rivalry, check out the second half of our interview with NFL legend George Wilson, who is now a Kentucky farmer. Check it out as Shonda and I talk to him about what he's doing to not just raise crops, but also raise the economic profile of his farmland.
With your family roots and then your mentors in the NFL, I mean, you were on a good path to use your intellect and your ability to make what's happening now happen. So and the longevity that you had going from unsigned to being in the league with, they said 9 seasons, that's incredible. That's a huge blessing. But let's just talk about the NFL. There's so much changes that's happened in the NFL lately with, Colin Kaepernick 4 years ago, the kneel, and everybody giving him grief about that. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And now to this moment where we see the reason and the need. What do you, now that you're out of the league and you know what it was like what do you think about what's happening now in sports and then the social justice movement that's happening?
Well, I think, when Colin first did it, it was such a shock to the system. Here you are, a black man sitting on top of the world, making millions of dollars, playing the game. The audacity of you to say something shocked a lot of people. But that's what we needed. And it's unfortunate that it took many more lives to get to this point. He tried to tell us that in 2014, 2015, like, come on, we 5 years later. You think about all the lives that have been lost, all the families that have been impacted. He tried to tell us then, but it took for more people to die, or more blatant disregard for a life, regardless of who they are and what they look like. It took for that to shock people into caring. And it's unfortunate, but I'm appreciative that those marches are no longer just black and brown people.
Mm-hmm.
That diverse coalition has really put it at the forefront of this nation. And I think that that's something that's not just because of a political or election year. That's because people see that now this stuff impacts their lives too. No matter where you live, that impacts your life too. And so you gotta care, because your kids gotta go to school in that community. You gotta go grocery shopping in that community. You want that community to support your small business. And so you gotta care. And it's unfortunate that until they feel it economically, things don't change in this country.
Yep.
And people want to focus on the looting and everything. If you go back throughout history, it wasn't until property was damaged and revenues were lost. It was not until then that change came.
Yeah.
And so I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that's what you need to do. I'm just saying that we as a people have been screaming and hollering and yelling for equality for generations. And marching and sitting in and protesting has gotten us some progress, but not the full equality that we need in this country. And so it's because of that economic impact that it's at the forefront, because it matters. It impacts everybody.
And McKinsey just did a study that said that Black business success directly impacts the entire economy of the United States. So like you're saying, if you don't care about any other thing, it's going to impact you at some point, because if Black businesses don't succeed, the investment and the consumption cost the United States trillions. That money will not come back in the community. If Black businesses succeed, that same trillion goes back into the economy. So there's so many connections to, like, even if you don't care about Black Lives Matter, you care because it impacts you one way or another. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm happy that they're starting to see the conversation is changing in sports and knowing their platform and knowing their power in order to have a voice to make a difference in all of our communities that impact all of us. We're all connected in this world. And so the more we realize that and see that, the better we're all going to be for our generation and the ones that follow us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you.
Yeah. And I want to, because the NFL is it has been so different than the NBA, because the NBA players recognize their power and the league is okay with them using their power. Are or is it moving towards that in at a snail's pace, or has it sped up that transformation of the league?
I'll say it's moving. It's moving probably at a snail's pace. That's probably at best. Obviously, the NBA is at the forefront of the sporting leagues, because the marquee players that generate a lot of the revenue for the NBA are at the forefront of standing up for and saying Black Lives Matter and wanting equality and justice, for our people. And so when you got those with the biggest platforms, with the biggest microphones, and they have the support of their white teammates and white colleagues, that makes it hard to turn a deaf ear to that. They know, the owners of the NBA know they're at the mercy of the players and their willingness and ability to go out there and put forth a good product. You saw it. The players, a couple of weeks ago, when the players said, we're not playing, there was nothing the owners could do, essentially. If the players not going to come out the locker room, there's nothing they could do. There's no guns being drawn. There's no military going to come and force them out. This is a nation of free will and choice. And so they have leveraged their position to give them the power to be able to send shockwaves across the world, across this country. And so because of their reach. And so you saw when the NBA did it, it was a domino effect. Then there was some baseball, then there was some tennis, then there was some soccer, and then there was some hockey. You know what I'm saying? And so it has that. Now the difference is in the NBA and the NFL, it's two-part. Part of it is the owners. Just the way that it's set up. It's not a business, because you got so many guys. It's not a business where you actually often have a personal relationship with the owner, like what you might have in the NBA.
Right.
So you'll know a guy, but you've not really really been around them, on a private, on the small jet, or go out to dinner because you're in a smaller group and everything. It's a more intimate setting on a basketball team than it is on the football team. You got 60, 70 guys. So it's harder for an NFL owner to be able to build a rapport with every guy. And so what happens is only your high dollar guys, specifically your quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want any change to happen in the NFL, that's where you got to look first.
Okay.
That's why, and I'm going to be very honest with you, that's why the progress has been slower with anything in the NFL, because these owners have set up a system where they've divided us and conquered us, even through the labor strife. A lot of here and recently, you've got 9 quarterbacks to get, $100 million deals, but, traditionally the quarterback has always been the $20, $30 million guy.
Yeah.
And so while you got, Black players that may be speaking out on things, or let's say player rights in the CBA term of things. Let's not even make it about race. Let's just use it for the context of the CBA they just signed. And if you want any change, you got to have those front guys. You got to have all those top tier quarterbacks, from Tom Brady on down through Russell Wilson and Carson Wentz. Like, these are your big money guys. These are the guys that actually have the personal relationships with the GM, with the head coach, with the owner. You know what I'm saying? So you got to bring more of those guys in. Now, I'm not saying that the quarterback is the end all be all, because we saw, Drew Brees put his foot in his mouth, earlier, this year or end of last year. And so he apologized and have since, done some things to be able to show, his contrition. But, at the end of the day, the big money people are the ones that you need to be able to be that voice in the NFL if you want real change. But the NFL is a different monster when it comes to power. They wield a power that no other sport has. And that's the difference.
What's going on behind you? Like, what's gonna happen tonight? Because you got a lot. This is your first kickoff. We already got we looking at our airline to get down there for the next ones. What's going on in the back? And what's the farm called?
Okay, yeah. So my farm company is called Phonograph Farms, like an old record player or whatnot. But I researched it. the origin of a quote that I always thought about the farm, what I reference is as the gift that keeps on giving. You know, it's paid dividends in my life. And so I researched the origin of that slogan, and it went back to when the first phonograph was brought to market. Wow. And so that's why I call it Phonograph Farms. But this area of my farm is called Reedsville. And it's where my family actually lived out here on the farm. And so I just got a pond out here. I got a pavilion. I just been sitting out here all summer. And I said, man, I think I can host an event out here. And so I was thinking, you know, with the pandemic and everything, everybody's having to adjust, you know, to a new normal. And so with the outdoor space and everything, I thought it'd be pretty cool to have an outdoor dinner party right at sunset with a live band and some good food. We offering paint and sip experience as well. And so, it's been a great time. We had a great time last night. We're going to do it again tonight. We've sold out each night and have gotten a lot of great feedback. And so we look forward to doing it again and just making it, you know, something that people look forward to in this area.
Yeah, that's like you doing your form like Dave Chappelle deals with his.
He's hosting this comedy stuff out there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just trying to change it up and just try to get more people out. You know, a lot of you'd be amazed how many people don't know where their food comes from, you know, to be able to see something in the ground and really appreciate the vastness of a cornfield or a soybean field or a sunflower field, you know, just to be able to expose people, you know, to nature. You know, we spend a lot of our lives cooped up in our homes and in the city, you know, and to be able to get out in nature is something that I think we often take for granted. So it's a great honor to be able to try to expose people to this.
Yeah. Now, do you take the people? Are you thinking of it, or taking them out on tours of the farms, like you said, so they can see the different aspects of the farm and how it goes from farm to table?
Yeah, so as we build it out and get those different things out here, yeah, we will be doing that. You know, from doing the tours to also providing dining experiences where we can actually go to the garden, pick what you want, wash it, clean it, and then prepare it. Yeah, give them that experience so they can actually taste the difference in a store-bought squash or zucchini and something that's fresh off the vine. You know, I just think exposing people to that and giving them, you know, that experience, I think would be, something that'll be memorable and something they can, maybe inspire them to go home and maybe start them a small growing box or a raised bed area.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, great. Well, we're not going to take too much more of your time. We definitely appreciate you carving out this time to talk to us about your football to farm experience. And we didn't even realize the legacy that's in your family, that you are really leading and a great example for not just your family, but the whole, you know, the United States and in our community, what's possible if you all are collective and if you have the foresight and in the commitment to keep this in your family, and that you are, you know, like when you see someone doing it, you know, it's the possibility. So it's no longer impossible. You know what's possible. Yeah. So thank you for what you're doing with your community and your family, and keep showing it on Instagram because we're all watching. I just really enjoy all of that. It's exciting, especially being in the city, to see how you're growing from a seed to nothing into a big old piece of fruit or vegetable, you know, and then all the other livestock that you have there too.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this platform and this opportunity to be able to share, you know, some of my perspective on some of the things we discussed today, and be able to, you know, hopefully encourage some people, you know, to fight for their families and fight for the things that, you know, that their families are connected to.
Yep. Kenta, you got your bags packed? We got to make a trip to Kentucky.
I'm already ready. It's gonna take me a minute to be packed, and all I need is a microphone. I see the speakers back there, so
I got you. Hey, I got your microphone, everything you need
right with the lake view. Hey, Ram, you see what I'm talking about? Ram, you ready?
All that.
If there's lakefront comedy going, we get that cracking. That is a fest, I'm telling you. Feel like the only people make it do what it do.
I like the sound of that lakefront comedy. We might have to run with that one.
Right, yeah. I think so.
Definitely. But
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah. And
man,
just
it's always love with y'all, man. It's all, you know, we fam, man. And I just appreciate y'all, having me on as y'all guest, man. And, you know, good luck and well wishes. Y'all continue to grow your podcast, man. I appreciate the love.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. And Shonda, just like George just said, in his
George
family,
just
in our
said it
podcast,
all. It's all.
put it.
What sibling rivalry is all about love at the end of the day. It's always all about love. So
Yeah. We appreciate
I
you,
love
George.
for you.
We appreciate you. We love you. You're our brother. And we definitely coming down there. So if you see 4 or 5 folks pull up, it's us.
You ain't even got to give me a heads up. I got you.
Don't
Okay.
tease me with a good time. We will definitely do it like that.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, y'all be
Well, good
well
luck
and stay
tonight.
safe.
Good
Yeah.
luck
All right,
tonight.
thank you.
Have a good time.
All right. Thank you. Y'all be
Thanks.
well and stay safe.
Yeah,
Thank
too,
you.
brother.
You too.
All right. Later.
We